had a look at CNN recently and was delighted to see that the channel that has been pushing itself as the Fox replacer, uh, either they're going in the other direction and they're saying, okay, that didn't work. Folks aren't leaving Fox and coming to us. They're leaving Fox and going to OAN. Or they said, we're going to replace Fox for the centrists. All this means is they're fine cashing in on dunking on Trump, and good. That is what your TV watching relatives and community need to hear. Trump bad, here's why.
New tonight, Trump's latest target, the president of the United Auto Workers, the target of 2 verbal assaults within hours of each other from the former president. Trump posting today in part, quote, Sean Fain is a weapon of mass destruction on auto workers and the automobile manufacturing industry in the United States. All auto workers should, all caps, vote for Trump. Just hours earlier.
Let me just remind you real quick why there's beef between these guys. Sean Fain represents the working man and woman. Trump does not. During the auto workers strike, Trump spoke in front of the scabs and on the bet that the American populace would be dumb enough to see him supporting workers. Yeah, the scabs, the people betraying their class. The reason this is particularly bad for Trump is he has pretended to be a populist. So to have Sean Fain tearing into him, oh, that's good. Good for democracy.
Trump bashed Fain by saying this. He's a real, all caps, stiff, who is selling the automobile industry right into the big, powerful hands of China. Get rid of this dope and vote for DJT. Trump admitting his initial attack was because of this interview where Fain did not hold back in explaining why he has chosen to endorse Biden instead of Trump.
Donald Trump has a history of serving himself and standing for the billionaire class, and that's contrary to everything that working class people stand for.
Sean Fain is out front now, so...
Thank God, for the record. Thankfully, Sean Fain has decided to grow a beard. It's a good look on Fain. He looks sharp. I like it.
Sean, Donald Trump says you are a weapon of mass destruction, that you are a stiff, and that you are a dope. Said all those things today. What do you even, how do you even respond to that?
Well, thanks for having me, Aaron. You know, first off, the weapon of mass destruction against the automotive industry has been 2 words: corporate greed. This is Trump. Trump always resorts to name calling because the facts are very clear, and he doesn't want to talk about the truth. He talks about what during his presidency, the phrase came out, alternative facts, or what we all call lies. He wants to make this election about anything but real issues. And, this isn't about me or Donald Trump. I don't care what Donald Trump says about me. I don't care what he thinks about me. I care about facts. And the facts are very clear for the large majority of Americans. The working class people have been left behind by Trump's billionaire class, by the billionaire buddies, and the economy that only works for the wealthy. And, you look, 1970, I read this the other day from the Economic Policy Institute.
Yep.
From 1979 to 2022, the top 0.1% of wage earners, wages increased 344%. The bottom 90% increased 32%. So this is an economy that Trump dreams of. This is what he wants. He doesn't give a damn about working class people, and that's what this is all about.
All right, so one thing that he is connecting with in some way is a sentiment that at least has grown within unionized households, right? And that is a shift over time politically. You've admitted this yourself, Sean. You said there are rank and file members of the UAW that Trump does appeal to. Our Harry Anson was looking at some numbers. And what I'm referring to is a shift over time in overall union member vote towards the Republican, right? Still plus Democrat, okay? But there's been a shift, right, Sean? So in 1948, it was 62 points, plus 62 Democrat. 1992, that had been cut in half to 31. And by 2020, it was down to 22% advantage for Democrats. Still an advantage, but that's obviously a massive erosion. Why do you think it is that many of your members...
Let me tell you something. I am positive with with Fain's recent... No, not just Sean Fain, although he deserves tremendous credit for this. With Sean Fain's, with the leadership of these unions getting off their butts and not acting like Democrats, the amount of union members who are going to vote for Democrats going up. The reason being, people are getting savvy. The Democrats have basically been looking for excuses to bow down to big business, but they have been reluctantly the supporters of the common folk. It got really bad in the days of Reagan to Clinton and onward. But basically, there's fight now, and in that fight, there is necessarily knowledge being passed down. It's been clear who the opposition to the things that these workers want is. It's the conservatives every single time. And if it's a Democrat, it's a conservative Democrat. It's going to make it clear. Let's see what Sean Fain said.
Members do not see this the way that you do.
Well, look, I'll say this is it's been a masterful plan by the billionaire class and the corporate class. I mean, they, over the last 40, 50 years of our lives, have played the greatest game they always play, and that's divide and conquer. They divide the masses over single issues, and meanwhile, they run away with all the money, all the profits, and things get worse for us. What we have to do as organized labor, we have to lead the fight, and we have to lead the dialogue with facts. And that's why our contract campaign was so successful with the big three. That's why 75% of Americans sided with us in that fight, because we were focused on the things that matter most to working class people: wages, better wages, retirement security, healthcare, better healthcare for everybody, and getting our time back. It's shameful through all of this. Working class people are working harder and longer than we ever have. They're working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, working multiple jobs, and they're scraping to get by. That's the economy Donald Trump loves. That's the economy that the billionaire class loves, and it doesn't work for working class people. And I think when we focus on the core issues that matter most to working class people, we'll see a difference in how the election goes.
So, Sean, I know that you did not, you had ruled out meeting with Trump, but the Teamsters Union is not doing that. They've got 1.3 million members, right? Massive union. Trump is meeting with union members and leaders this week. There's a event he's hosting on Wednesday. Earlier this month, he met with the head of the Teamsters Union at Mar-a-Lago. Do you have any...
At no point did Trump say, let me get some of those unions in here. Let me get some of those unions. I want to talk to them. Somebody said, hey, here's the next guy you're talking to. He does X. Here's the next gal you're going to talk to. She does Y. I really want to stress something. Donald Trump's campaign, it might be about getting elected president eventually. Right now, I'll tell you what it's about. It's about paying his legal bills. He's looking for donors to pay his bills. I'm pretty sure he's straight up out of money. At least liquid assets, because he's not paying some pretty significant, pretty embarrassing legal bills. These folks that are meeting with him, I hope they have the foresight of Sean Fain. I hope they are not trying to backdoor their way into the ruling class. I hope they understand that the people they represent aren't going to put up with them showing favor to the very people who are making their union members' lives harder. I hope. We'll see.
Feel for how this is going? Do you know the head of the Teamsters Union? Do you think that he could be getting their endorsement?
Look, I've talked to Sean O'Brien. I respect Sean O'Brien. He's a good leader, and look, they've had good success in that union, done great things. And I'm not going to try to even speak for what their decision is. All I can speak for is from our perspective and what we've seen and the facts we've seen. And it's really clear for us. It's a very clear picture when you put the two candidates side by side. I mean, you go back to the economic recession. Joe Biden stood with the American worker. Donald Trump blamed the American worker. He blamed the workers for everything that was wrong with the big three back then. Joe
Boom.
Biden gave us a path forward. You go to when Trump was president in 2019, Lordstown Assembly Plant in Ohio was slated to close. Trump blamed the local president, told people don't sell your houses, and did nothing. In 2019, when GM was on strike, what did Donald Trump, then the president, say? He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. In 2023, Joe Biden, when we were on strike, he came out and stood with the workers. He joined us on the picket line. Belvedere Assembly Plant in Illinois was slated for closure in 2023. That community was written off for dead. Joe Biden worked with us to not just get one plant. We got that plant revived and another plant to be built there and save the community. So there's a stark contrast in these candidates. Joe Biden has spent a lifetime serving others and serving the working class. Donald Trump spent a lifetime serving himself.
Oh, that's brutal. Just brutal. And accurate. One thing I think I'm seeing lefties get a lot more comfortable with, and is understanding the difference between supporting someone because you like them and supporting someone because it's part of a strategy. When you want to explain to people on the left who don't want to support Biden why they should, I would point to things like that, like the fact that he actually went out and supported striking workers. Does that wash him of his sins? No. Nope. Not at all. But it shows you how we can use the